So, it is 10 minutes. There are many mysterious things in the world. There are people who have obviously stopped breathing and whose hearts have stopped but miraculously survive. And they tell us what they experienced when they died. This is called a near-death experience. According to them, consciousness still exists even after death. Some of them say they have been to heaven, and others even say they have been to hell. Still, we have some doubts. Have they really seen heaven and hell? When we dream, we experience many strange and unbelievable situations, and it is sometimes suspected that people who have had near-death experiences are also talking about things in their imagination as if it were a dream. If the soul were completely destroyed after death, there would be nothing to worry about. However, if heaven and hell exist, then it would be a very serious matter, because one would have to go to either of them. This time, we will not try to prove heaven and hell through science or philosophy, but we will try to approach it from a different perspective. Rather than investigating whether heaven and hell exist, let us first find out whether God and Jesus, who spoke about the existence of heaven and hell, are truly trustworthy. What do we usually check to determine if someone is trustworthy? We just need to check whether the person has kept past promises.
Now, let us first look at the promise God gave to Abraham. God made many promises to Abraham. The contents are roughly as follows. It is a promise that your descendants will become as numerous as the stars in the sky, and although they will be slaves in foreign countries, after 400 years, they will come out with great wealth and take over Canaan. Was it really faithfully observed? Yes, God kept his promises without exception. Israel, which became a nation through Abraham's descendants Isaac and Jacob, was enslaved in Egypt for 400 years and eventually conquered Canaan. People usually fail to keep promises made 10 or 20 years ago, but God kept all of his promises for 500 years.
Second, it is a promise about the Messiah. God promised to send the Messiah to save the corrupt world. But if the Messiah is sent vaguely, how will we recognize it? So, in the Old Testament, it is prophesied in detail about where the Messiah would be born, who he would be born to, where he would work, what he would do, and that he would be persecuted a lot, be betrayed by someone close to him, and be killed, but be resurrected on the third day. And God kept everything he promised in the Old Testament. Then Messiah is Jesus. As promised in the Bible, he was born of a virgin in Bethlehem, fled to Egypt to escape King Herod, lived in Nazareth, was persecuted by Jewish shepherds, betrayed by Judas Iscariot, and was resurrected 3 days after being crucified. All of these things did not happen by chance. They were fulfillment of Old Testament prophecies. God made promises about the Messiah for hundreds or even thousands of years, and he fulfilled them all at the first coming. The contents are well recorded in the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. In this way, we can know that God keeps all his promises and is trustworthy. Therefore, the Bible describes God as faithful God. Now, let me tell you about heaven and hell. Actually, you may doubt or not believe in heaven and hell after death, unless you go there and experience them yourself. And it's okay if you don't believe it, no matter how much someone proves it to you. However, since God and Jesus have made and fulfilled promises over the years, it makes no sense to simply ignore what God and Jesus said about heaven and hell. Considering the accomplishments of these promises, shouldn't we think more seriously and carefully about heaven and hell? I think it is a difficult problem to just ignore in everyone's life, rather than judging lightly. How about we pay more attention to this issue and find out together? It was 10 minutes. Thank you.